So I'm deciding to do a Frostpunk run, and I've done this scenario a few times, but I really like it, and I can maybe give a few tips and tricks along the way, so let's see what we can do. So if you've never played Frostpunk before, they're going to show you this little video that will explain the premise of the game.
We roam the still, cold world. No horizon in sight. The rulers of old, stripped of pride and glory. It feels as yesterday we were turning the wheels of progress. Until the frost stopped it all. Suddenly, without a warning. When tides had changed, they changed for all of us, no matter wealth or class. We've lost our world to snow, and with it, our last traces of humanity. We bid farewell to plenty, and for those who remained came the time to adapt. We decided to leave our homes and head north. We roamed for weeks, maybe months, leaving behind all the things we once believed had made us. It was hope that pushed us forward. Slowly, step by step. We knew the cost of our journey, and we paid the price 100 times. Finally, the time has come to build the last city on Earth.
Okay. A new home. We fled from London and crossed the sea to reach the frozen north. On the way, our convoy was hit by a blizzard and scattered. A handful of us managed to reach the site of this generator, only to find it frozen solid and abandoned. Why is no one here? Did any of our people survive the blizzard? Are there any others out there? Whatever we do, we should expect the worst now that the world as we know it has crumbled. We have to survive. Okay. We need to get the generator working. It provides heat and power to the other buildings. Without it, we'll freeze to death. Stockpile some coal and start the generator. Pause, please. Is that how you pause? Wow, okay. I think I remember how to play this. Okay, so at the bottom left, fight the cold. Stockpile some coal, turn the generator on. So we need to start gathering these little resource piles to start. You can just click on them, and there's two types of, there's workers and there's engineers. You always want to use workers first. Engineers do a lot of different stuff around the generator, like the factory and the research center and all these different kind of specialized jobs. The workers are the grunts of the whole civilization. So you can do this and let's just put like 15 workers on stockpiles. But the problem with that is it's very cold, and so you'll get people who are sick. you'll also not collect resources as fast, and it also takes 15 people per pile. So if you look at the top right, it shows 50 of 80 people. I think square. Okay. So 50 of 80 people, and 15 are children. They're not even going to work at all. 35 workers and 15 engineers. We don't have that many people to do all these stockpiles. So what's the solution to all of these problems? Well, I remember the button for it. There we go. You can go to construction, and they don't tell you this in the tutorial or anything, but in my opinion, this is what you need to get the best start possible. Gathering posts. People working here gather resources from nearby coal piles, wood crates, and steel wreckage. So it's going to cost you resources to build this thing, and time, and roads, because every building you build needs a road to it. But see, if I build this here, instead of 15 people on each one of these, I can actually employ just 10 people at this one shack, and it will count for all 3 of these piles. And they actually collect faster if they're in these gathering posts. So less people, they gather faster. It's a win-win, and they're warm. So they're not going to freeze and get cold. And if they get cold, you have no infirmary for them to go to and try and heal themselves. So that's the best way to do it. Now, unfortunately, that's going to be most of our resources for now. And it's on steel, wood, and wood. Now, I know they want you to get coal, and that's great and everything. I consider wood in the beginning to be the most important resource. Coal is the most important resource, obviously, because it heats the generator. So the whole point of the game is to keep everybody warm enough that the generator stays on, and they don't kick you out of power. For now, though, the temperature is actually okay enough that during the day, I can keep it shut down. So I'm going to have them build here so they can start collecting wood. And I am going to, for now, until I get enough resources, just put workers on these 2 piles of coal. Okay, now I'm going to unpause so they can... Whoops. I'm not going to usually go off the normal play speed, because I like to take things slow, and stuff can pop out at you in a minute. So I like to be just prepared for all that stuff, and I like to move slow. Construction, you can build a street, so every building you have has to be connected to a street, or they won't be able to collect the resources to it. Do I want to build it like that? I think I'll build it for now, actually. Yes. And you can always demolish roads and get your resources back. But for now, I'm going to do that. So they'll build the road, they'll build this, and they'll start going for resources. Oh, I can take them off of this. I really want them focusing on just building this thing. You can see the work time at the top of the screen. You can see it clicking down. So they've got work time and they have relax time. At night, they're going to stop working, and if anything needs to be constructed still, they'll build it. In the daytime, anybody who is assigned a job will go to that job, and anybody who is idle will build anything you want them to build. So it is nice to have a few idle people during the day, so that if you decide to build, it'll get built quicker. Otherwise, you got to wait for everybody to get off work before they start building your stuff. And when they build at night, they're freezing cold, so you're going to get more sick. So they're going to go get that. And in the meantime, how many idle workers do I have? 20 and 15 engineers. So the deal at the very beginning is like just get everybody working so that you've got as much coming in as possible. Steel at first is not that important. So I'm going to put 15 workers on this wood. And I'll put only have 2 people doing coal. So for now, just for now, I'm going to put all 15 of these engineers on this wood pile. As soon as we need the engineers for something, I'm just going to take them off of it. But for now, I want as many people working and as much resources coming in as possible. Oh, one more thing before I unpause. At the top right of the screen, you'll see day 1. And then you can see like a whole string of days. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Between day 4 and 5, you can see that like little temperature symbol with a blue sign dropping with 2 arrows going down. That means the temperature is going to drastically drop on day 4. So you got to have homes for everybody. You got to make sure like everybody's going to be comfortable, not just in -4 Fahrenheit, but whatever temperature it's going to drop to on day 4. And at the bottom of the screen, you can see there's discontent and hope. You need to keep discontent low and hope high. And then 80 houses I got to build for people. That's that annoying red symbol in the middle of the screen. 80 people need houses, and that is a pressing need. So every time there's a need, it's going to show you that like with a little red bar. As the need gets less and less, the bar will go away. Okay, cool. So now, instead of having the 15 engineers freezing their asses off, since they are kind of the elites of our society, we will put them with engineers here. So now, see, look at this. They're collecting steel and wood at the same time. And it shows you 1.5 an hour, 4.9 an hour. So they are collecting faster than 15 people would per pile. So 15, 30, 45 people. Now you are doing the work, 10 people are doing the work of 45 and doing it better. So that's why gathering posts are absolutely necessary. It just is a huge investment at first. That's why I think a lot of people don't do it, is they think the investment is not worth the payoff. And it absolutely is. Do we want to put one on coal? Sure. Let's do that. We're out of steel. Yeah, I know. We're collecting steel. So you do need steel. You know, it's not that it's totally useless in the beginning of the game, but it's not that great. Maybe I should have fun. Yes, I know. One of the things I wish about this game is they let you zoom in a little bit closer. It'd be really cool to be able to like get right down into the street and see the details. But this is fine. Is anybody coming to build this? Probably these people. You can click on individual people. Dick Levison. Biggest concern is lack of shelter, and he's going to build. He has no home. He has no workplace. Oh, man, I probably should have been doing this. Book of Laws. So, at the bottom of the screen, you'll see to the left of the discontent and hope meters is the tech tree. We cannot start researching technology until we get, I think it's called a research center, but I don't even really remember. It's called a workshop, but I call it a research center. That's how you research technology. So we can't do that right now. But to the right of the discontent and hope meter is the laws. So this is where the game, in my opinion, gets very interesting, because it's not black and white. You have to trade off, and sometimes people just need stuff. For instance, you have no food coming in right now, but everybody still needs to eat. So what are you going to do about that? Well, you have 2 options here. You can add sawdust to meals to make them more filling, although not exactly tasty or healthy. So it shows you in blue what you're going to get from it, and red what is going to be negative about it. And so sawdust meals would be available, and that means people will be filled more. They're not going to eat as much of our food, but they'll fall ill. Discontent will rise, hope will fall. Soup. We can cook soup instead of full meals to feed more people with the same amount of raw food. So that's kind of interesting. We might want to consider that. Emergency shift. You can call an emergency shift and people will work 24 hours a day but then using the emergency shift will raise discontent a lot, actually. And then discontent will rise slightly immediately after you enact this law as well. So there's always trade-offs to this stuff. You can take or leave my advice. There's really no way to do it, but the way I usually start is go directly to soup. I understand that hope falls and discontent rises, and that's fine, and eating soup will very slightly raise discontent. We'll get them off soup as soon as we can. But for now, to feed everybody, we desperately need to hold on to our rations and have them, all of our manpower be used to be building and gathering these resources, not food, not yet. You can see at the top right above the day meter, 100 raw food. So that's just raw. It needs to be cooked into meals. And so we're going to need a cookhouse and all of that. To the left of your temperature meter, the -4 Fahrenheit, you'll see all the other resources in the game. So that's it. There's no other resources. It's coal, wood, steel, and what they call cores, which we'll go into cores later, but you don't really need to worry about cores right now. They're just a rare resource that you need for some buildings. So discontent rose because I enacted that law. Sorry, I understand. See, and they'll like bit. Okay, it's starting to be the end of the day. See, we're at 1640 pretty much, and so people are going to start going home, although they don't have homes. So, what we should probably do, we have wood. We've got a good amount of it. Got like 43 wood. 53 wood. Sorry, it's at the bottom of the screen. So we're going to start with tents. They cost 10 and they'll shelter 10 people. So when you build, think of these as like districts. Because you're going to build starting near the generator and like work your way out. So wherever I build this is going to be the housing district. So I could maybe do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to build 1, 2, 3 right now. And remember, everybody's getting off work soon, so they're going to go build these buildings. We should get them built pretty quickly, hopefully, because if they have to sleep outside during the night, we will get a few sick. I'd like to hold off on getting the infirmary up as long as possible, if we can.
Works out for today.
So now we can take all of these workers off coal and put them, just 10 workers in here. So it frees up a lot more workers too. I am also going to have them build even another gathering post over here on these 3. That would be great. And then we gotta build a road that will go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I really just want it like that. Straight out. Okay, cool. We'll do that. You don't need to be paused or... Oh, it's automatically paused because I was building a road. Got it. See, they're building these really quickly, which is good. We need a few at least. So at 20, they're going to tell me to turn on the generator, so I'm going to turn it on anyway. At night, you have no choice. You have to turn on the generator. So the generator has 4 power levels. Generator hums with reassuring warmth, but we shouldn't take it for granted. If the generator goes down, the city dies. Be mindful of coal reserves. Now, food. There will be no city if we starve to death. Secure a way to provide raw food and build a cookhouse to prepare meals. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so now that we fulfilled that objective, it's going to give us another objective. And hope rose slightly because we fulfilled that objective. So, the generator. Yeah, this is a good time to talk about the generator. So we can see it's got 4 power levels. It has an overdrive if you research it. I can't go up to any other power level right now because I haven't researched any other power level. And then it's got a range, which you can research it to go further out. You can see its radius right now. Just right in the center, it shows you like with those little orange lines. And then it's going to show you consumption a day. Since the so the road has not been connected here. That little, so if the symbol's white, that little road symbol, it means that the road is not connected to that building. If it's red like that, it means that they have to go construct the road, and then it'll be good to go. So this little guy's going out there in the middle of the night to do it. Thanks, guy. I appreciate it. Sorry. So consumption. The reason it's saying we produce 0 a day is because we don't have a road going to that place, and that's where the workers are gathering the coal. But it'll show you like how much in the red or green you are with your consumption. This is a very important screen to keep track of. And this is why for now I'm only keeping the generator on at night. Okay, they built that too. So we can take the workers off this steel. We had workers on this wood. I don't think we had workers there. No, we didn't. And we can put them on here instead, and it frees up all these people. So we're out of wood. I'd build another house, but we're out of wood for tonight. So that's okay. We were able to build 3 gathering posts with roads and 3 houses in 1 day. That's really good. That's what we want. We just got 1 sick, so you can see at the bottom of the screen that 1 red just popped up. My guess is it's this guy I sent out to build the road. Which kind of sucks. Did he even build it? Did he just get sick and go home? Free time, especially in the beginning of the game, is where I speed it up. You can even see all these people sleeping on the ground. So, see, in the middle of the night, you're going to get a bunch of sick if you don't have housing. We didn't get too many. I mean, like, it auto... the morning is automatically at 5 o'clock, so it automatically takes you back to normal speed. And that's when you can tell how many sick you really had during the night. Not too bad at all, and we didn't have a lot of sick during the day either because they're working inside in warm conditions. That's another thing. So there's a temperature meter on PlayStation 4. It's the touchpad. See, this shows you a diagram of living conditions. So these are absolutely livable. If it's yellow or higher, you are good. You have very, very low chance of them getting ill. See, very low risk of getting ill. If it's red, it prevents them completely from getting ill. But it's hard to get everything red. It gets impossible to keep everything red. Since it's the morning, I'm going to turn this off. And you can see, once the generator's off, these turn to yellow. So not really that big a deal.
Get to work. Move, people.
The temperature meter is really good to keep an eye on, just so you know, hey, do I need to be like researching more heaters or more range for my generator? Alright, we've really got the wood coming in now. Wait, what? So the road was connected before. I don't know why they wanted me to build this road then. But I'm going to just demolish it. So now that we've got a little bit of infrastructure going with our resource gathering, we want to start building obviously more houses, but the goal of the day is to have like infirmaries and food for sure up and running. So, like I said, you want to think of these as like districts. I only go with my housing district. I only go 3 at first, because then when you go back, it's going to turn into like 4, and then like 6 or 7, and then like 12. So 3 at the very beginning is more than enough to create a district there. The next district I'm going to create is food. So there's 2 things we're going to need for food: a hunter's hut, which would give us raw food every day. So we're not, right now we've got what, 100? Yeah, we've got 100 raw food, but that's going to run out. So the hunters are going to, every night they're going to go out and they're going to come back every morning with food. The cookhouse is where we literally cook it from raw food to cooked, and it's like the kitchen. They go and serve it there, and people get their food rations there. So I like to put this near their home, because they're going to go straight from their house after work. They'll go here and then straight from here home. So I like to put this as close to these guys as possible. So we'll put it there. And then we'll hire some people for the cookhouse. See, you say there's not a road going here. But there is one. Did I not build a road at all going out here? I don't think I built a road at all. So that's the issue. That is a legitimate issue. Got it. Road. Well, that's my bad, and that is going to put us behind on coal, but that's not really a big deal. We're going to stockpile a good amount of coal. 0 day, 0 day, because it's off right now. It's saying we're producing 0 a day. The number of sick is rising, and we don't have enough materials to build a medical post. Perhaps a short burst of effort could help us gather the necessary resources. Consider signing the emergency shift law. So people are going to come to you with decisions like this and say, like, what do you want to do? There's no way I'm signing the emergency shift law. They're just panicking because they see that we don't have a lot of supplies. It's not a big deal. We're getting supplies at a really, really good rate. And as soon as we build this, we'll be getting coal at a good rate too. So the moral there is sometimes it's great to make people happy, and the discontent will rise a little bit by you saying like, nope, go away. But it's not a big deal at all. Don't let the crowd dictate your decisions. Sometimes it's fine. If you think you can do it and appease them, that's great. If you don't think you can, then do what you think is necessary in order to get stuff going. Okay, so this is where I'm going to just hire 5 workers for now. This is where you can change it to soup. So see, they're going to produce 40 meals an hour instead of 32. We're definitely going to do that because it's going to produce, it's going to buy us time. See, it's showing we have to consume 80 meals a day for the population we have, and we have 0 a day we're producing. That's not good. So the next order of business, because we have the wood, will be that's the front. The street is under construction. That's fine. I might have to move this road a little bit. That's okay. Alright, now we're cooking. So now it's going to show you, hey, you're producing 240 a day and you're taking 0, which of course is not true. At night we're going to turn it back on. But that's good. Okay, how many sick do we have? 3. So let's see. Another hunter's hut window right there. Alright, so let's do an infirmary. We can't yet. We need 5 more wood. Okay. Deal. We will put up a medical post. Yeah. So, this will be the food section, and again, it's going to spread out further and further. This will be the medical section. It will spread out further and further. With basic resources secured for now, we can try to rescue the people we left behind. Build a beacon, scout Frostland, and save as many survivors from our expedition as possible. You'll need a workshop to design plans for more advanced buildings. Okay. So now, at the bottom left, our objectives have changed. Build a workshop, build a beacon, rescue survivors. We will work on that, but for now, we are working on way more important matters.
Time to rest, folks. Work's out for today.
What do you need? No roof over our heads. Captain, people are understandably concerned about the lack of shelter. They're falling ill from sleeping outside in this terrible cold. We better do something about it. You'll have 2 days to provide shelter for 25 people. You'll have 2 days to provide shelter for 50 people. I won't address this right now, and discontent will rise. I will provide some. I'll probably provide all, to be honest, but I just don't know that for sure. We're using up wood at like a good rate right now. I can build 1 home, which is probably a good idea. Sure. So we'll do that to appease them a little bit. And now that they're off work, we can turn the generator on. See, now we can sort of see, even if we left this running 24 hours a day, we would still only need 144 to power it, and it's producing 240. That's really good news. However, when the temperature drops after day 4 in the morning, or in the morning of day 4, then we're going to be in trouble with that. We're going to need to do something about it. So, the wisdom of the crowd. Captain, when facing demands, remember this. People usually look for the quickest solution, not the best one. You don't have to agree to everything they ask for. If you fix the problem your way, it's fine. I'll bear that in mind. Okay, so that's exactly what I was saying before. So how do we get this to be hotter when it's going to be super cold on the morning of day 4? Well, we accomplished our goals day 2 of getting food up and medical ward, and even a little bit of shelter, not too much. Day 3, we really have to get research going immediately, and we have to get more housing if we can. So those are going to be the goal. If we can get our research going, we can research some ways to make this generator hotter. The good news is, if you look up at the top at the day meter, yes, it's going to get cold on the morning of day 4, and it's going to stay cold all through day 5 and up to the morning of day 6. But on day 6, the temperature will rise again. But if you notice, the blue meter that shows the temperature is going to drop has 2 arrows. The red meter, or the yellow meter on day 6, has 1 arrow going up. So the temperature is going to drop 2. It will go back up 1 on day 6, but not back up to -4 Fahrenheit. So the game progressively gets colder and colder and colder and forces you to adapt quickly. So you can see on tier 1 we've got comfortable living conditions. On tier 2 though, they're just living. We will employ engineers here now. See, only engineers can work in a medical post, no workers. So engineers are specialists for only certain jobs. And now that we have opened this, you'll see at the bottom of the screen, under the hope meter, there are now 3 people in medical posts. So they're not a red meter anymore. They're being treated. And if you go here, you can even see how long they'll be treated. It's these 3. There's 2 children and a worker. And they'll be in about a day each. So this worker, wherever they were, they're going to be down 1 worker. So every individual does count in this game. My guess is maybe these guys. No, they're functioning at 100%. Alright, we'll fast forward for the night. 1 person's gotten sick so far. Oh no, there's been a few sick. So the infirmary only holds 5 people, and it's 5 of 5. So a few people got sick last night, probably from sleeping in the cold again. And 1 person is sick and has nowhere to go, which is not a great place to be. But it's okay. We're doing okay with how many sick we have. It could be a lot worse. So we're going to end this video after day 3, right before the cold hits. And hopefully, man, we'll be very prepared for this. Is there anywhere else we could get wood? Because that would help today. This is all just coal. Alright, well, we're getting as much wood as we possibly can get per day. See, this is why I think wood is way more important than coal. Like, you don't need that much coal in the beginning. As it gets colder and colder, you need more. But right now, what I need is the ability to build as fast as possible. Oh, so that meter at the top, 10 of 80, that's how many people you have that are workable. The children are not workable. Now you can change that. We can actually introduce a new law. I didn't see when we could do that, but we should. Child labor laws. So you've got a choice here too. There aren't enough hands to do all the work. We'll allow children to be employed in safe workplaces like cookhouses or hothouses. So children can work in safe places, but hope falls. And children workers can be injured in accidents because they're not as competent as adults. Or you can just say, like, look, children are going to go to children's shelters. These are basically schools saying, like, the children will be kept safe in these shelters, and then they can't cause any mischief. It's a new building, though, and so you have to build a shelter within 2 days of announcing this law, or they'll consider you a liar, and discontent rises a lot. Hope will rise as soon as you get this law into effect and after you build the shelter, and providing all children with a place gives them a permanent hope bonus. So It's up to you. Some people go with child labor. I never do, and I'm always fine. It gets to a point where I have way too many people. So I try and keep them in shelters, but it does suck because enacting this law means I'll have to build a child shelter soon. That's okay. We can do that. We've got 2 days to do it. Actually, 3 days.
A new law has passed.
2 days, 23 hours. It shows you how much time you have to do your shelter promise as well. So it keeps all your objectives neatly in the bottom left. It's good to keep the children out of harm's way. Yes. They have nothing to do because they have no law. But at least we're bringing something back. These guys are bringing back 15 raw food a day. It's not great, but it's something. How much is it for workshop? Not much at all. So let's start with that. So I think I like this to be right there. We can have 2 infirmaries. Let's do that. This is going to be the science district. So we'll get that going, and we could even do a house as well. Yeah, child shelters thing. And we're gonna do that. We're out of wood. I know. Why are you? Yay. Alright, this is looking pretty good. I don't think we're gonna get any research done in time for the cold on day 4, but we will try. They might just have to hold out for a little bit until... I mean, we might get it done in the middle of day 4, but they might have to hold out for the morning in some pretty cold buildings. My guess is these will go to a light blue, so they're going to be chilly. And then all the reds are going to go to livable. That wouldn't be the end of the world, really. We might need another infirmary. But we'll see. Now I have 10 workers doing nothing. That kind of bothers me. Just let it go. Okay, we have no engineers. Okay. So, well, we'll come back to this in a second. Let me employ people there. So we need to find engineers now. That's where this little meter's good, because it's going to show you like where everybody is. Engineers. We have 10 engineers working here. So that's not good. And that's why also Alright. See, people are a precious, precious resource. And so... building these gathering posts like this is so key to being able to employ everybody everywhere. I mean, if you didn't build these gathering posts and you had to put 15 people at each station, you wouldn't be able to employ people at the cookhouse. The hunter's hut takes 15 people by itself. The medical post, then you need people to research. A lot of people switch between medical and research. The engineers, they switch, and like one day they'll do medical, one day they'll do research. I think just bite the bullet and do gathering posts in the beginning, and then you don't need to do that. Okay, so now that we have this, we can do research. And you can add research here, or you can go into this menu like we do with laws and do research. So the research tree is in 4 categories: heating, exploration and industry, resources, and food and shelter. So food, health, and shelter. Heating's probably the most important right now. There's only really 2 options. We could put steam hubs in, which allows us to build, it acts as like a little generator away from it. So the further away you build from your generator, the colder people will be. So you put these steam hubs in, and it'll keep them warm. The heaters are for workplaces. It's really only for workplaces. So in the day when they go to work, you can turn these puppies on. It does consume more coal, but that helps them stay warm at least at night. I think this is the route we're going to go, because this doesn't really do much for us right now until we get more spread out. You could also, if you had 50 wood, you could research the drawing boards, which allows you to research an entirely new tier of all of these categories. The most important for now is heating and food and shelter, because the hunter's gear allows up to 20 raw food per hunt instead of just 15. So you're going to get more raw food and be able to feed people quicker. But for now, we'll do heaters. This is going to work out much better. I have not been collecting as much wood as I've needed to from here, because there were only oh no, there were 10 engineers here. I thought there were only 5. No, there were 10 engineers here, so we were collecting it. And now they've got to go from, see, like, they don't just like teleport from here to here. They actually have to walk there. So it's showing you like you're only at 40% production on this, because people have to walk there. Now 60, 70, 80%. I love that, how everybody's actually got a day and a life and a job. Okay, this isn't going to count until we build a road. Just connect this. There we go. So I provided shelter for 10 of 25 people. Once these 2 are complete, this will provide it for 20 more, so we'll be good. So why 80%? Because 2 are in treatment. That's why. For how much longer? Max of 10 hours. Oh, I left the generator on all day. Whoops. Oh well. I mean, you can see the bar at the top. See where coal is? That tiny yellow bar underneath? That's your capacity. We're already at half capacity of coal. So, that's pretty good. So we've got a few more houses. We could even build the child shelter now. If we wanted to. I'd like to make another hunter's thing. Which would mean tearing down this road. Which I'm not super keen on doing, but I guess we don't really even have the personnel for that yet. So maybe more houses and the children's shelter. How much is the children's shelter? 20 of my 23. 30 people still need homes. Let's build homes. And this house is going a tiny bit into the storage district, but that's okay. From my experience, the storage district can be a little condensed at the beginning. Let's just do that right now, or else we won't be able to build another house. Whoops. And then right here. Okay. That should settle housing for everybody. So we're not going to get as many sick at night, which is great. And we should be pretty prepared for this cold, as prepared as we could be. Hope's rising, that's great. And when we pick it up, we'll go into child shelters. We'll build one of those. And we'll keep researching like heating and food options and stuff and try and weather this storm. And then once we're thriving again back on the morning of day 6, we can definitely get into a way more advanced stuff there. There go the hunters. They need to talk to me. Sir, a woman came forward after we built the workshop. She said that her husband and daughter didn't reach the city with the main group, but she's sure they're still out there. She wants to join the first scout team we'll send out. She urges you to hurry. I understand, man. We got it. Don't worry. So if you zoom way out... Oh, I can't yet because I don't have a beacon. Okay. So we'll wait for these to finish. And housing is no longer a problem. Yay. This one's even still livable. Alright. Well, we will end it there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.